Imagine lying in bed at night. The city is quiet. The streets are empty. You think you're safe in your own home, but what if I told you someone is already inside? This is the true story of Richard Ramirez, the man they called the Night Stalker, a killer who attacked random people, sneaking into homes, bringing terror to California. Richard Ramirez was born in 1960 in El Paso, Texas. His childhood was filled with violence. His father was strict and angry. Richard spent most of his time on the streets, avoiding home. But the person who changed him the most was his cousin, Miguel. Miguel was a soldier who had fought in Vietnam. He told Richard terrible stories, things he had done during the war. He even showed him photos of people he had tortured and killed. Richard should have been scared, but instead, he was fascinated. Then, one night, something happened that sealed his fate. Miguel and his wife was arguing. Suddenly, Miguel shot her in the face. Richard, just 12 years old, watched her die. He didn't scream, he didn't run. He just stood there, watching the blood spread across the floor. From that moment, Richard Ramirez was never the same. As he grew older, Richard became obsessed with Satanism. He believed in the devil. He thought evil was power. He broke into houses, not just to steal, but because he liked being inside people's homes. He loved the feeling of control. But soon, stealing wasn't enough. He wanted more. In 1984, in Los Angeles, a woman was found murdered in her own home. She had been attacked in the middle of night. The police were shocked by how brutal it was. They had no idea this was only the beginning. For the next year, Richard hunted. He broke into houses at night. He attacked people while they slept. He hurt the young, the old, men and women, anyone. There was no pattern, and that's what made him so terrifying. Los Angeles was paralyzed with fear. People started locking their doors and windows for the first time. Gun stores sold out of weapons. Families slept in the same room because they were too scared to be alone. But nothing stopped him, because Richard didn't care who you were. If your doors was open, he was coming in. Richard didn't just hurt people. He wanted them to know why he was doing it. He left satanic symbols at crime scenes. He made victims swear loyalty to the devil before letting them go. He whispered dark prayers as he attacked. He didn't just want to kill, he wanted to spread fear, and it was working. For months, Richard Ramirez was unstoppable. The police couldn't catch him. He left no fingerprints, no clues, but in August 1985, he made a mistake. One of his victims survived, and she remembered everything. His dark eyes, his disgusting teeth, and the way he smelled like something dead. She described him perfectly. Then the police got lucky. Ramirez stole a car, but he left something behind, a single fingerprint. That was all they needed. Now everyone knew who he was. Here's where it gets crazy. Richard didn't know his face was in the news. The next morning, he walked into a store. He saw his face on the newspaper. People in the store looked at him, whispering. Then someone shouted, "It's him. It's the Night Stalker." Richard ran, but the people of Los Angeles chased him. A group of angry citizens ran after him, hitting him, throwing things, knocking him to the ground. By the time the police arrived, Richard was bloody, bitten, and wants help. The people had caught him. The Night Stalker was finally over. In court, Richard mocked his victims. He laughed at their families, he carved satanic symbols into his hands and held them up for everyone to see. But in the end, he couldn't escape. He was sentenced to death. Richard Ramirez sat on death row for 23 years. He never made it to the execution room. In 2013, he died in prison from cancer. The Night Stalker was finally gone. Even today, the story of Richard Ramirez haunts people because he proved something terrifying. Monsters don't hide in the shadows. Sometimes they walk among us, and sometimes they are already inside the house.